So let's just start with the Seer. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's going right in the F. What up, everybody? Welcome to my first tier list video. Today we're gonna be ranking my favorite godlies based on what they look like and not their stupid value. So don't comment that. Don't do it! Alright, so let's have a look at the godlies and see which the best is. By the way, there's a few different tier lists. There's another one with godlies, there's a classic, there's one with a ton of items, like every item in the game, and then there's one with maps as well. So if you want to see me do any of the other ones, then comment down below. But it's godly time, so let's go, guys. Alright, we gotta go ahead and choose our first godly. So let's just start with the Seer. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's going right in the F. I mean, it's barely even a godly to me. And I know it's also the least rare, and we're not going off rareness, but it doesn't look that, it's like the tiniest godly too. Like, I gotta put it at the lowest one. All right, so since we just started with the Seer at the last one, we're just gonna work our way backwards through all of these. And that means next we've got the Fang. And honestly, the Fang's pretty cool. I don't use it that often, but I think I'm gonna put it at B for now. We can always go back and change this and revise it at the end if we mess up. But as of now, the Fang is gonna be a B. All right, next up we have the Laser. All right, this is pretty cool. I like the Laser. It's a little bit cooler than the Blaster, and we're gonna get to that one in a sec. It reminds me of it. So I think for now, I'm just gonna put it at a C though. It doesn't look as cool as the Fang. I know it's a gun and it's not a knife, but it's not that cool. Yo, like and subscribe and turn on all notifications. Why are there so many buttons? All right, next up, we've got a Chroma Bone Blade. This is pretty cool. I mean, it's a Chroma. You gotta give it that already. But the thing is it's actually like probably one of the least cool Chromas because it only has the Chroma on the handle. It doesn't have it on the blade, so you can't really see it that well. So I guess since it's a Chroma, we have to at least default it to a B for now. It could go higher later, but I think we're gonna have some other Chromas for sure. So we're gonna have to put those higher. All right, next up, we've got the Luger, just the straight up gold Luger. It's the OG. I actually think it's one of the nicest looking guns, and I think it's better than the Laser. So I'm gonna put this one in the B tier as well. What the? Everything's a B. That's not bad. Getting a B is not bad on a test, all right? Okay, next up, we got the Ice Shard. And even though I said the Seer is the smallest, I think at least the Ice Shard is like the second smallest. I don't think it's that cool, to be honest. I'm gonna have to go ahead, I'm gonna put it at a D for now and move on to the next one. All right, next up, we've got the Eternal. I think the Eternal is real cool. I really like the design of it. So we're just gonna go ahead and put it up to a B tier for now. We'll see if we change it, but for now, a B. All right, next up, we've got the green Luger. It's honestly not as cool to me. I think the gold is cooler. I know it's technically more rare, I think, but again, it doesn't matter how rare it is. It's how it looks, okay? Oh, so I guess I'm gonna put it, I'll put it at a, it's kind of ugly. I'm gonna put it at a D tier. I just don't think the green looks good on the Luger. But anyways, next we got the Ice Dragon, which honestly is really cool. It basically looks like an Eternal that's blue now that I look at it. I've never really noticed that. But I think that since it kind of looks like the Eternal, I'm gonna put it right next to the other Eternal in the very stacked B ranking right here. All right, next up, we've got ourselves the Battle Axe, the first Battle Axe. It's got a fat skull in the middle. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I think that I'm gonna go ahead and go with a C though. I don't think it's quite as cool as a Chroma Bone Blade or any of these other knives, but I do think the Battle Axe is cool. And let's move on to the next one, which is the Hollow's Edge. I always thought the Hollow's Edge was really cool when it first came out. And I think that we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this as our first ever A tier, okay? I personally think the Hollow's Edge is real cool. And like I said, this is my list, so it's personal, all right? Don't complain. All right, next up, we've got the Tides, and I'm not gonna lie, I think that the Tides is gonna be our first S tier. I think the Tides is just beautiful. I don't even think I have one. Do I have Tides? I don't know. But next up, we've got the Heat, which I think is quite cool as well. I think that we're gonna go ahead and throw the Heat in the A tier. I think it's pretty fire. Oh, that was cringe. All right, next up, we got the Eternal 2. And to me, the Eternal 2 looks like the Eternal, but much worse, actually. It's like gray, and is that a green handle? I think it's terrible. I think they made it look much worse, so I'm going to put it at a D tier. 2 whole ranks lower than the normal Eternal. Hey, you, are you about to buy some Robux? Well, make sure you support me by adding my star code by clicking here and typing SEE and adding it. Thank you so much for your support. Okay, now we've got another icy knife right here. We got the Snowflake. I think it's cooler than the Ice Shard for sure. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go right below the Ice Dragon. We got 3 icy ones, but the Snowflake's gonna go in the C tier. All right, now we've got the Battle Axe 2, and not gonna lie, this one is way cooler than the normal Battle Axe. I definitely prefer it. If I had to choose one, I'd go with the Battle Axe 2. So we're gonna bring the Battle Axe 2 and we're gonna put it up in the A tier. I think it is an A tier worthy one, and I think it's way better than the normal Battle Axe. Then we got the Amara Laser. I think the Amara Laser is pretty cool. It's a nice little design. I think it'll go in the B tier, nice and in the middle-ish area. Now we've got the Sugar, which honestly is such a weird godly. It like shoots candy canes. I don't have this one. I don't really think it's that cool. It doesn't look cool, but you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and give it a D. It's not quite an F with the sear, but it's pretty low. All right, now we've got the Frost Saber, which I actually don't think's that cool. I think of all of the ice one, it's kind of the least cool. So I'm actually gonna put it in the F tier. All right, so next up we've got the Death Shard, and I always thought the Death Shard was pretty cool. I don't have one myself, but it has double blades. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? It reminds me of the Halo 3 energy sword. So I'm gonna put this at an A tier. I think it's real cool. And actually the Fang has double as well. I didn't notice that, but I don't know. Is the Death Shard cooler than the Fang? I'm gonna have to think about that. All right, moving on, we've got the Hand Saw. I think this one's cool. I don't have this one either. But I don't think it's anything crazy, so I'm just gonna put it at a C tier. All right, now we've got the Pixel. I actually really like the Pixel. It reminds me of Minecraft, and it's one of the more unique knives in MM2. So it's gonna go up to the top. S or an A? S tier. I'm just gonna YOLO put it at the S tier just because we only have one right now. And now let's move on to the Red Luger. Here is the Red Luger. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right in between the Gold Luger and the Green Luger here in the C tier. I think it's slightly cooler than the green one in my opinion, but it doesn't look as cool as the gold one still. I still prefer the gold. All right, now we've got the Hollow's Blade, which is also like the Hollow's Edge too. I don't know, it's just a pink Hollow's Blade. It just matches Halloween less. So I'm gonna actually put this one at a D tier. I know that we put the Hollow's Edge at an A, but this is just like, the Hollow's Edge was so cool when it came out. It looked so different. And then the Hollow's Blade was just the pink Hollow's Edge. All right, now we've got the Spider next up, which I think's pretty cool as well. It's got the little spider design. Let's go ahead, let's grab that one. I think that's going to be an A tier. All right, now we've got the regular Bone Blade. We already know that we put the Chroma Bone Blade in B right now. So I'm gonna put this Bone Blade in a D. I think it's kind of cool, but it's not as cool as the Chroma, obviously. All right, next up, we've got the Blaster, which I said isn't as cool as the Laser, so it automatically goes into the D tier. All right, now we've got another Winter Knife. Why are there so many Winter Knives? This is the Winter's Edge. I think it's actually pretty ugly. That's a weird shape, and it's gonna go in the F tier just because of the shape. All right, now we've got Chill, another cold knife, but this one's actually really cool. It's like Heat, but blue. So we're gonna go ahead and put it by Heat in the A tier. Now we've got Virtual, and I've always thought that Virtual was actually really cool because it looks different, just like the Pixel knife kind of compared to the other knives, and it just looks very futuristic. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in the A tier. All right, we've got the Christmas tree knife, and I think this one's really cool. I really like the Christmas knife, so I'm actually gonna put it up in the S tier. All right, so next up we've got the Shark. I think it's kind of unique and pretty cool, but the colors could be better. It's very dark and kind of hard to see, so let's just put it in the B tier because of that. All right, now we've got the Pumpkin, which is pretty cool, but again, with the colors, I think it could be a little brighter and more orange. It's a little too dark, so I think I'm gonna put it in the C tier for that. All right, now we've got the normal Ginger Blade, which next up is the Chroma one, so we've got to put this in a decent spot. I don't really think the normal Ginger Blade's that cool, so I'm just gonna put it at a D. And then with the Chroma Ginger Blade, I think it's slightly cooler, so I'll probably put that one at either... I've already got the Chroma Bone Blade at a B. I think this is a little cooler. As a Chroma, you can see a little bit more of the color change. So let's put this at an A tier. All right, next up, we've got the Candy Cane. And that's pretty cool, man. You're killing people with a candy cane. How can you go wrong with that? Let's put it at the S tier as well. All right, now we've got the Slasher. And I don't really think the Slasher is that cool or special. I'm just going to throw it in the D tier. All right, next up, we've got the Saw. I think the Saw is cool, but it's really not that much cooler than the Hand Saw. So let's just put it by the Hand Saw right here in the C tier. All right, so now we've got the Clockwork and the Old Glory and the Ginger Luger remaining. We're probably gonna have to make some adjustments to this because it's looking a little bit lopsided, but let me go ahead and finish off the rest of these. So we've got the Clockwork. I think the Clockwork is really cool. We're gonna go ahead and throw it in the A tier for now. And then we've got the Old Glory. I think the Old Glory is pretty much just, you know, the Amara Laser of knives. So we're just gonna put that as B tier as well. And then we've got the Ginger Luger, which I actually think is kind of better than the Green Luger for sure. The red one, I think it's better than that too. So let's just put it at an even tie with the gold Luger. And our list is finished, but I think that we have to make some adjustments now. All right, so before we make this our official final list, let's make a few adjustments to make sure everything's right. We've got the F tier right here. I think everything in here is an F, but we have more to add to the F list. I think that we actually have to bring the ice shard down a level. I hate looking at it. The more I've been staring at these godlies, the more I realize I don't want to use the ice shard. And as for the rest of D, I think that we're pretty good here. I don't think anything's moving up or moving down. Then moving to C, Battle Axe is kind of ugly. I feel like it doesn't deserve to be above anything in the D tier. So let's actually move that down. All right, moving on to the B list here. I think that what we need to do is actually move up this Fang one level, as well as the Chroma Bone Blade. I think that it just deserves a little bit higher on the list since it is a Chroma and it's being compared to a bunch of godlies. Although I still think some of these godlies are cooler, even though they're not Chromas. All right, so moving on to the A list. I think we've done a pretty good job here for the most part. I don't think anything is really worthy of being moved up to the S tier, which leaves us with the S tier. Does anything leave the S tier? Are any of these things not worthy? The candy, the Christmas, the pixel, or the tides? I think the candy could honestly either go in the A or the S tier, guys, but I'm gonna move it to A so that we just have 3. And this is my final list for my godly rankings of MM2. I know there's a lot of other godlies that actually aren't on this list, and there's actually tons of other lists, like I said, that have other godlies too. So if you want to see me do one of those, or maybe try and find one that has every single godly, then let me know by subscribing and turning on all notifs and commenting down below. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed my tier list, and I'll see you guys later. I see you just finished one of my videos. Make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe and turn on all notifications so you never miss another Roblox video. I'm gonna explode now.